Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to shut my blinds because that sun is going to kill your ability to see my face. So I hope everybody is having an amazing Sunday. I definitely am. I went to church today and then now I'm doing laundry. I food prepped a little bit. I don't really have anything to food prep right now. And I was thinking about a conversation that I had with a client this morning, and I want to talk to you guys about it. Because it is by far one of the most common things that I hear, one of the most common situations. Hi, Becky. These are one of the most common situations that I experience being a coach, and I'm here to walk you through it. So I had a conversation with one of my clients this morning, and I know so many of you will relate to it. Like I said, here's what she said. She texted me her check-in. I have her check-in twice because we're on a special plan. And she checked in this morning, and at the bottom of it, she said, I get so frustrated when I don't see progress. It kills my motivation. Now, here's what I told her. Because everybody needs to hear this. Your motivation cannot be based on results. It cannot. And when you tie your motivation to progress, it's completely backwards. Now, let me explain. So, your body doesn't give you consistent progress when the input is inconsistent. So, excuse me. Basically, you cannot expect your body to change when you're 60-40, or you have one good week and then you have one bad week. Like it doesn't work like that, especially when we're dealing with hormonal chaos, a body that is in fight or flight state, like you've been starving your body for so long and say living on protein shakes and wine. When you switch over to a healthier lifestyle, like it's not, 9 times out of 10, it's not just, the weight is not going to fall off of you. And so your unrealistic expectations are going to kill you. Because instead of doing this because you want to feel better, because you want a healthier body, because you want to live longer, because you're tired of being tired, then you start putting in the work day after day after day, and you don't become uber focused on watching numbers move. Because when you're healing the body from the inside out, it takes a while. Like it takes a while for your body to feel safe and say, okay, I can start dropping this fat. And I feel like a broken record because everything I say, it doesn't matter the topic. I always tie it back to this every single time. Your body will not show results if it doesn't feel safe. And then there's another place where you go, which we're not really going to get into, but I'm going to talk about it, where you reach your results and you've changed your life and you're in a maintenance phase. Like when you're in a maintenance phase, you're still continually changing your body. Your focus is just different. So like for Becky's been my longest client that I've had for over a year, almost 2. By the time we finish out, we'll be at 2 years. And we did metabolic restoration first, then we went into a fat loss phase, and then we went into a maintenance phase, and then we cut again, and now we're in a maintenance phase because she's got some injuries she's dealing with. So we can't really push at this point, but we also don't need to. But she's still making progress despite our focus isn't on necessarily like changing the body per se. You know, we are always evolving. We are always improving. And same thing with me. Like, my focus was getting stage lean for the longest time. And I achieved that goal. And now you won't hear me talk about my aesthetics hardly at all anymore, because I will share my body to show you guys how well it's responding. But my focus is to heal, is to feel good, is to wake up and not be exhausted, is to get in the gym and be able to push again. You know, the physical results that I'm going to achieve through this process here is an added bonus, honestly. You know, I mean, my goal was just to maintain, but I have a feeling my body's going to actually look better than it has for the last couple months because it was in such a bad place. But like, I cannot tell you guys enough how detrimental it is to this journey when you are placing motivation in the forefront, being dependent on results. Because at that point, your motivation is fleeting. Like, I'm not even motivated every single day, and I do this for a living. Like, there's a lot of times that I wake up and I'm like, man, I don't want to go to the gym, but I do, because I know when I get started, I don't even have to get done. When I get started in there, like, it creates a healthier place for me, and I start to feel like my mood improves, my energy improves, and after I'm like my first or second set in, I'm like, oh, the weight's moving really good today. Like, this feels good. Like, that's part of this journey. Like, and then another thing too is like eating good. I'm not even tempted to have bad stuff right now, and I should be tempted like crazy because I've been in prep for a year and a half. But I am satisfied with my meals. I love how I feel. So I have no temptation. Like, I have no cravings. My hormones are levelizing too. And it's like all that stuff is coming into normalcy to where, like, before, when my hormones were dead, I probably shouldn't expect to have cravings because my body was like trying to just survive. But now it doesn't even faze me, because being healthier and fixing my body is number one to me. Not going out and having alcohol, not going out and having a cheat meal, not eating extra bites of my kids' candy that's still left over from Halloween, because that's not going to help me heal my body. So you need to focus on the things that are important to you and this journey, and remember why you started in the first place. We all want to lose weight, lose inches, get in shape, tone up, you know, but what you really should put at your forefront of your why are the things you can't see. Things like improved mood, quality of life, sleeping better, balanced hormones, not feeling like a psychotic, crazy lunatic all the time because your hormones are out of whack. You know, having good lab work, you know, meaning like your insulin is under control, your glucose is in a good place, you know, your cortisol is low. Like, all those things are something that, thank you, Becky. All those things are things that you should really focus on, because that body, that feeling, that happiness that's happening on the inside is going to come out on the outside, and then that's your reward. Okay, that's your cherry on top. That's not your like carrot. Okay, your carrot is the things that you can't see. And so I had some notes and I haven't even touched those yet, so I'm going to get to those. So your body doesn't give you consistent progress when the input is inconsistent. So I said that. It just won't. Like, I don't think I'm telling you guys anything you haven't heard, but I'm going to reiterate that. So your body has to have consistency. We are machines, if you think about it. We are very, very complex machines. I'm going to take out my piece of gum. We are very, very complex machines that run so intricately. Everything depends on something else inside of our bodies to function optimally. Okay, to function at all. Now, when we're talking about messed up hormones, like high cortisol or increased stress levels, digestion issues, and things that are all over the place with your routine, your body's not going to respond because, like I said before, it does not feel safe. And so when one level is off, it's going to spark something else, your body to compensate somewhere else. And then where it compensates somewhere else, it's going to pull from another place. So then you end up being with like kinks in your garden hose. And the more inconsistent you are with things, the more kinks that are going to start getting into that garden hose. And then you're not going to be getting the full pressure that you need, for lack of a better term, of functioning optimally. Now, when we're talking about like consistency, the main thing that I'm really talking about with this is diet. Because I coach about 40 women, and I do not really ever hear I'm having a problem getting to the gym. Or sometimes people have problems getting in their steps, but that is a very easy fix and something that we can work around. But the movement part is most times not anybody's struggle. It's diet. And so, like I said, your body really responds to support, not pressure. So by you putting on this external pressure of I need to lose this weight or I need to do this, and then you're not receiving the reward that you wanted because you're not putting in the work that you're supposed to be putting in, or expecting it to be like crazy fast, it's going to make your situation worse. And that's what I tell everybody every time about lifestyle changes. It has to be about the journey. You have to enjoy the journey. You have to do this because you want to, not because you're punishing your body. Because, you can regret that you haven't done this any sooner in your life, or you let yourself fall apart, or whatever your reason is that you're doing, like you finally took that step. It's fine to have those feelings of shame and regret for a moment, but let it go, because that's not going to serve you either. You have to move forward and just flush it and let it go, because those feelings are not going to bring you where you want to be. They're going to keep you stuck back there, and you're going to find yourself either quitting too soon, having all or nothing mindset, or, falling back into your old habits, because it is hard. It is hard. It is hard to do this. I'm not going to lie and say that it's easy, but I think people make it harder than it needs to be. Okay? Like Becky goes on travels with her husband like every week. She's been home like maybe 3 weeks out of the whole year. Do you think she messes up on her shit? Do you think she checks in on Monday and says, I didn't get my workouts in. I didn't eat on my meal plan? No, she figures it out. She goes prepared. She does everything that she needs to do because it is important to her. Not because she has worked really hard to get here, so she's certainly not going to let herself fall back into her old habits, but she's also created some very solid, healthy habits that have stuck with her to where she doesn't even have to fight that battle anymore. She doesn't even have that temptation that people have in the middle of their transition of their lifestyle. Like, she's like, I had to make her have a cheat meal because she doesn't have cheat meals. So I told her we got to start having a cheat meal every week. And she is my most consistent client. And, you know, it wasn't ever something that, truth be told, she didn't struggle with it, but most people do. Most people do. Okay. Like it is, when you're reprogramming your body and your mind to, like, get rid of those old bad habits, like all or nothing mindset, giving in to cheat meals more than you should, you know, talking yourself out of certain situations, like switching those habits is going to take time to retrain your mind, but it really has to be a conscious effort every single day for the longest time. And then you'll find yourself not like myself. Like, I've been so strict and regimented for so long, like it's not even a thing for me to feel temptation because I've retrained my mind. Okay. Hi, Roberta. Okay. So let's see. Where was I? Oh my gosh. I got to scroll up here. Hold on. Okay, so let's see. Where is it? Okay. So when you're inconsistent with food, steps, stress, sleep, or workouts, your body simply will reflect that. Period. Point blank. It is not failing you. It's just responding to the environment that it's in. Now, here's where the mindset gets twisted. So many women wait for the results to appear before they feel motivated. So you want to see your results, but you're not motivated. You're just doing this because you want to see results. Motivation that depends on instant progress will always disappear the second the scale stalls, or you have a stressful week, or it punches you in the gut. You know, like just things like any little thing that happens to you is going to set you on a spiral, you know, so you're not going to stay motivated because you are placing your weight, for lack of a better term, on outside factors that are not the main focus of your goal. So that's why you feel stuck, because you are relying on something unpredictable to fuel your consistency. Now, motivation has to come from commitment. It has to. It absolutely has to, not the outcome. So from the decision to show up every single day, that has to be your focus. I want to do the best I can every single day. Now, we're not talking about perfection. You guys know that I'm not that coach. But consistency also means a consistent effort, because life is not going to be perfect. You're not going to feel motivated every day. You're not going to hit your plan perfectly every day, and that's okay. But the most important part is you don't let that roller coaster that you're on affect your future. So it's happening that day. That's fine. You don't let it spiral out of control moving forward. So you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you get back on the train. Like, you can't be, because there's so many times I'll get messages from clients and they're like, oh my God, I dropped 5 pounds. And then the next week they don't drop any. And it's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, you're not doing anything wrong. You can't expect your body to move every single week. It's not going to. Like, just because you didn't change on the scale doesn't mean something's not happening internally. Okay. So Results come after consistency, not before, not in anticipation of it, after the consistency hits. So we're talking about 4 good weeks in a row. Also, again, we're talking about a lifestyle plan. So 4 good weeks means you hit your plan 90% of the time. That shouldn't be hard to do because everybody's plan is built around your life, not the other way around. So if you are not a client of mine and you have an unrealistic plan, you're probably going to fail. And I don't mean that to be discouraging. I just am being honest with you because you have to have a sustainable plan in order to have and keep your results, to get your results and to keep them. If you're struggling to stay on track with your plan, it's probably because it's too rigid or your mindset is too rigid and you have unrealistic expectations. I feel like a broken record, but that is what it is. It is what it is. Like you have to realize the longer you've been out of shape and the longer that you've not taken care of yourself, the longer it's going to take to get you where you want to be. And you have to be committed and in it for the long haul. Like there should not be an end goal on this journey. You will always continually improving and working towards something you could do better. Like water. If you text me or message me every week in your check-in and you're having 2 liters of water and I keep telling you water has to get up and you're not doing it, you can't be mad at your results. I'm just saying. Like we have to take accountability for our own actions as well, too. And most of our problems can be eliminated by being prepared. So prepping your food, getting 1 step ahead of the game. 90% of you are mothers, so you know you can't just willy-nilly your way through life with a kid. You just can't. You have to be prepared. You know, like I know the days I get my kid, I know his schedule, I know my schedule, and I know where my food is, how much I have left, and what I need to bring with me. And I'm always 10 steps ahead. And you have to be that way. And it's just like for work. You wouldn't go to work unprepared for a huge meeting that you have, would you? No, your meeting with yourself is just as important as work. It's just as important as the kids' sports schedules. It's just as important as your husband, I don't know, your time with your husband. You know, I don't have a husband, so that's one problem I don't ever have to worry about, which is nice. But, you know, you have to treat this as a commitment to yourself, not to me, because I'm just giving you the tools to take on this journey. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. Like I can't make you do it, and I can't give you the reason why you need to do it either. Only you know the reason why. So the focus right now, especially in midlife, when hormones are involved, which I know I'm going through that right now, your first focus has to be healing. I said that before, and I really, really, really believe that for probably about 75% of you. Like it may not be your hormones that are the problem. It may be just the fact that you have a slow metabolism and we're working on rebuilding that, but that's healing too. We're healing your metabolism. So if you've got a slow metabolism, you probably have jacked up hormones. And those things do not get fixed overnight. Like your hormone system is a very complex system. Your metabolism is a very complex system. And it's not something that like is magically, oh, I feel safe after 1 week of eating 4 meals a day instead of 1. That's not how it works. Like, you're going to have ebb and flow days. You're going to have days weeks where you have amazing progress. And then you're going to have other weeks where you don't have any progress. And that's just what it is. Like, doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You could be doing your plan 90-10 and still struggling with seeing results every single week. And nobody does. I don't have any clients that are consistently every week dropping, because that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on a steady metabolism, like Roberta here. Roberta is my sweet lady who came to me, I think maybe eating 2 meals a day. She has a double knee. She has had both knees replaced, so working out wasn't even in her radar when we first started. And so I've gotten her up to 5 meals a day now. She's lost, I think, 10 pounds and like 4 or 5 inches off of her waist. Like, it's amazing. And she's working out again because she feels good. Her body's moving, like, in like her joints and all that stuff. And so now what we're doing is we're at this maintenance phase. So we're going to hold here, let her body feel safe for a little while, which means you're not really going to see any physical progress, but it doesn't mean you're not working towards something still. Because when I give her the green light and she tells me she's ready, we're going to start a fat loss phase. But you have to be good at all phases, and you have to be patient, because you can't rush this process. It's just not, I wish that there was a way to do that and do it in a healthy way, not a GLP-1 way. But you just have to be patient. So, you can't demand progress from a body that you're not supporting consistently. You can't bully it into changing, and you have to strengthen it, fuel it, stabilize it, and then it responds, which is exactly what we're doing, right, Roberta? Now, when your foundation is inconsistent, your motivation will be inconsistent, and therefore your results will be inconsistent. So if you've been in a push-pull mindset, here's what I want to like really, really pinpoint to you. And this could be your focus for the week. So be consistent, not perfect. Like you can't, like I said, we're not expecting perfection. We're expecting consistency. So that would be hitting your plan 90-10. Like, and I'm just going to tell you, not only is your body going to start responding better when you're in that 90-10 place, but you're going to feel so much better here. And because you're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to be like, I did it. I broke through that unhealthy mindset of where I wanted to be all or nothing. And now I'm doing everything consistently, and I'm proud of myself. Like, that's a good feeling, because being proud of yourself should be every one of your goals as well. Like, you need to be able to pat yourself on the back and say, I'm proud of myself, because this is not easy. So you want to be consistent. You want to hit your meals 6 days a week. Everybody gets a cheat meal. If you're struggling and having more than one cheat meal a week, let's talk. We can walk through it. I can help you maybe figure out a way to balance things a little bit better. Because if that's just what it is, then we can make a shift. Like, we could cut carbs with one of your meals on that same day that you have that extra cheat meal. Like, it's doable. It's not ideal, but it's doable. You want to get in daily movement. You want to get your lifts in. You want to drink your water. I am going to strangle you ladies that are not drinking your water, because water should be at the forefront of everything, because your body cannot function properly if it's dehydrated. Water's first. Sleep. That saying, you sleep when you're dead, is not true. You need to sleep. It's the only way that your body can regenerate cells. Stop obsessing about the scale and tying it to results. Because, first of all, the scale sucks. The scale is... If I had an emotional attachment to the scale, I would have thrown in the towel 2 weeks ago. Because in my mind, once I stepped off stage, I said, I will not get heavier than 150. I am happy at 150. You know what I weighed today? 152 and a half. But you know what? I don't even care because I love the way I look. I love the way I feel. My clothes still fit. I still look good in a bikini, and I'm happy with that. So the weight, your weight should not matter. Now, if you're checking in with me every week and the scale goes up 2 pounds, but your measurements don't, so what? So what? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you gained 2 pounds of fat because your measurements didn't change. So your measurements can actually go down and the scale can go up. And you know how that happens? Well, it could happen because you didn't poop in the morning before you did your weigh-in. It could happen because you had extra sodium the day before. It could happen because your hormones are shifting, like if you're ovulating or getting ready to start your cycle. It can happen if you didn't get enough sleep. It can also happen if you're gaining muscle, which is what we all want to be doing. I want to gain muscle because as we age, our muscularity declines. We are fighting an uphill battle. I'm fighting an uphill battle. As in shape as I am, I'm still fighting with aging. And so I want to keep stimulating my muscles to grow so that I can continue to have a healthy metabolism, because if I do not have muscle on my body, I will waste away and I will not have a healthy metabolism. So we always want to gain muscle. And so if your measurements aren't changing, but the scale is going up and down, you're safe. I promise you. I promise you. You have to learn to just disassociate from that number and what you think you should weigh, because it is unrealistic, okay? So stop obsessing about the scale as your proof of success and proof of progress. Choose the habits first. So when you choose your healthy habits first, hitting all those things I just said, the results are going to follow. I guarantee it. I will go out on a limb and say, I guarantee it. Now, if you could come to me after 4 weeks of being super consistent, hitting everything, and you're still not seeing any kind of change, we might need to talk about it. You know, what I will do is investigate things a little bit more. So I had a client who actually had that happen. And she's on a meal plan. And so I said, I know you have a meal plan. Tell me exactly what from that meal plan you're eating every day. And come to find out, she wasn't eating on the meal plan. Like, she had full fat dressing that she was putting on her salad at night, which was adding 7 grams of fat a day. She was having a very carb heavy Greek yogurt. It had more carbs than it did protein. And her choice of granola was a heavier granola. So she was adding in about 300 to 400 extra calories a day from the meal plan that I'd given her. So that's why she wasn't seeing results. She was consistent. And that's, you know, like, I'm going to investigate that with you. Like, if I really think it's a problem with the plan, we're going to fix it because it's fixable. But if you're not being consistent and you're mad about the results that you're not getting, it's kind of on you. I hate to be that blunt, but that is really what it is. So let the habits be non-negotiable. Let the routine be what fuels you. And let the progress show up when you're supported your body enough to actually feel safe enough to drop body fat. Okay? You have to give yourself grace, and you have to be committed. You have to be committed. Because otherwise, you're really just going to be spinning your wheels. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're never going to fully make the transformation internally that needs to happen to show on the outside. This was a really long live. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I had a lot to say today. So I just want you guys to know that I say all of this with love, because a lot of people need reality checks, and a lot of people you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow and evolve and put to death your old self. And we talked about that today in church. Like, you can't keep pulling back or holding on to your old self when you're trying to transform into somebody else. And that is really what a lifestyle change is. You are literally letting your old habits die and creating new habits so that you can live a better life. A better life, a more fulfilling life, a healthier life, and a longer life. So that's what I'm here to help you guys do. So if you have any questions, or if this like really resonated with you and you want to talk about it more, just message me, because I would be happy to help you, and I would be happy to walk through it with you. And every plan is sustainable, but you have to let go of those mindset like battles that you're having. You have to let go of those and stop thinking that you're punishing yourself or missing out on life or doing any of those things, because at the end of the day, your quality of life should be most important to you, because food is literally just fuel, and it should just be fuel. Yes, it should taste good, but it's literally 10 minutes of your entire day, maybe 30 if you add it all up together while you're eating. But like, that's not is what is important. Feeling good and functioning optimally should be your number one goal. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday. And I will see you guys later on this week.